Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow hunters, to another new episode of our Bloodborne walkthrough. For this episode, we are gonna be exploring a new area called Nightmare Frontier, which is situated beyond the current landscape of our base game. That means we have to teleport to get there. Speaking of teleportation, does that ring a bell? That means we have to go to the place where that second amygdala is situated and get grabbed by him. And using that stone that I just showed you. We got this stone from an NPC in a Forbidden Woods hut. And right off the bat, I'm gonna need you guys to level up your beast cleaver up to +6 and equip a fire elemental blood gems to change all the attacks from that beast cleavers into a fire elemental attack, because there are certain type of enemy in this new area that we are gonna be exploring tonight, especially weak to fire damage. If we were just to use blunt and thrust attack from our current weapon, that is not gonna do much of a damage. And as I said earlier, this area is especially nasty in terms of landscape and also enemy design. And also pretty easy to get lost. So first thing first, we have to go to Grand Cathedral and head to the left of the Grand Cathedral. Remember that we fought 2 hunters back there. And there is another gate over there that is closed, tightly shut. We can't open it, but there is an invisible hand reaching for us as soon as we stand in front of that pair of gates. That's the second amygdala crawling above that gate. With our current insight, we are able to see a vague stature of this amygdala. Just ignore those motherfuckers, although it is always good, to take them down because they yield quite a lot of blood echoes and also tons of blood vials. But over here I'm just gonna ignore them. They are a pain in the dick. Okay, down here, just stand in front of this gate. Then invisible hand will grab at you. And there it is, amygdala. That's his true form.
Oh, amygdala. Oh, amygdala. Have mercy on the poor bastard.
Does that voice sound familiar? That's our old friend Patches, a guy equivalent of an Eastern egg in Soulsborne series.
What a joy it is to behold the divine. It must be such a pleasure. You're in my debt, you know. You're nigh on a beast of the field. But here you are, treading a measure with the gods. Are your feet as fat as your wits? Oh, cease this dithering. Take the plunge. Throw yourself to the wolves. I see.
So that is Patches, the same old fucking jerks that we knew from previous games. In this area we can see there's a lot of alleyways, but there are actually nothing in there. This area that we are currently in is called Lecture Building. There's nothing down here, except for a few arcane spells that we can pick up, and a lot of those students. These students are very weak to fire damage. This lecture building area isn't the primary focus of this video, but this area functions as a connecting bridge to the area that we want to explore in this video. Inside this room, beware of that student up on the roof. Over here, from this chest, we're gonna get ourselves 2 red jellies. This red jelly is an item used in Chalice Dungeon, so that is not really relevant to our walkthrough. And then in this second pair of gates, we will use up our lecture keys to open. And there are a lot of students inside, so it's time to switch to our Beast Cleaver. Fire Beast Cleaver. You can see most of the students only take us 1 or 2 hits to kill them off. And there is another chest in here. This is a spell that is quite useful, Augur of Albratus. But arcane build is not really the focus of our current walkthrough. So if you guys are interested, you may pop a few blood echoes into leveling up your arcane, so that it is just enough to use this spell. This gate leads us to the nightmare frontier that we are going to explore for this episode. But before that, let us hop back to that cathedral ward area and talk to that old lady. You know, that old lady has gone maniac after we beat up that Vicar Amelia. And now he has reverted back to normally. So let's just speak to her, see what is gonna happen. I spent all that blood echo from beating up all those students in that lecture building. Okay, now that we are in Cathedral Ward, let's talk to this lady.
Oh, there you are. You're early, dear. Is anything the matter? You can always tell me. Mother will make everything better. What's wrong? Anything you'd like to tell me?
Over here, if we were to choose the first option, we'll actually get a few items that we need from her.
You poor thing. But don't you worry. This'll help you forget. Forget your troubles. Forget your cares.
There it is, sedatives.
What is it, dear?
And we are not done here. Keep talking to her until she can no longer give us any more sedatives.
Poor thing. But don't you worry. This will Oh. Oh, but this. Oh, oh my. Oh, now, have some patience.
So after a total of 6 sedatives that she gives to us, she can no longer provide us with any more. After this, she will go out and look for more sedatives, and then come back. This sedative item is actually gonna neutralize the frenziness build up. So in this next area, Nightmare Frontier, we are gonna make an enemy that is especially nasty and obnoxious. She's gonna keep building up our frenziness meter. So in that kind of situation, sedatives will come into use. That lady must mistake us for his own children. That's quite pathetic for her. An insolent and unappreciative old bag. That's a fitting end. Okay, right around the corner up the slope, there is actually a crystal lizard. A lot of crystal lizard in this area are actually pretty useless. They don't drop anything that we need currently, that is bloodstone chunk. They either drop bloodstone shard or twin bloodstone shard. So even if we missed a couple of crystal lizard, it doesn't matter. Because there are a lot of them in this area, but most of them are useless. There is only one such crystal lizard that we really need to pay attention, because she's gonna drop us 2 bloodstone chunk. Over here, just drop onto this platform. There is a elixir. And over here, there is a shortcut lift. But we're gonna find this lift much later in the game. I mean, in this episode. And over here, we're gonna see a new type of crystal lizard. A very big and aggressive one. This kind of crystal lizard is gonna attack us. You can see that this kind of terrain is pretty difficult to traverse. Although stone tablet is really blocking our ways. And right here, using your monoscope, you can actually see that there are 2 hunters in this area. Try not to pass over this bridge section, because there is a crystal lizard up ahead. If we continue to go beyond this point, this blue lamp, that crystal lizard might notice us and disappear. Although earlier I said crystal lizard isn't really much of an importance in this area, but it is still good that we kill one as we see one. Those hunters are a cakewalk, so just be a bit more mindful of their AoE attacks and do as much parry as you can, and then you are good to go. There he goes down. On our left side, there is actually a crystal lizard hiding in here. You just have to look for it a little bit, because their color is quite a blend in with the environment. So keep your eyes peeled. Up on the left upper slope, there is actually a ruin over here that we have to pick up. And in the gap in between this slope, there is a madman's knowledge. Okay, in here we can either go into that swamp, or we can just drop down from here, go into this cave, and kill this motherfucker off. And up ahead is gonna be another crystal lizard. But be a bit mindful, because in the arena up ahead, there are actually gonna be 3 giants throwing rocks at us. Once these rocks disintegrate, their shards will also deal damage. So just keep yourself mobile instead of being stationary. The best strategy to tackle them is actually through gun parry. They are pretty easy to be gun parried. But you can also, you know, get behind him and do a charge attack. But the key is always that you keep yourself mobile instead of being stationary. As you can see right there, we just now hit by those shards of the disintegrated rock. Those shards also deal damage. So just be a bit more mindful of that. That's 2 of them down, and there is 1 more in that high point. Okay, after we get to the high ground, there is actually another one of those motherfuckers over here. Just use your beast cleaver. They are pretty weak to fire damage. And we got ourselves another fire elemental bludgeon. Okay, try to get behind him and do a charge attack, but over here the angle isn't alright, so didn't manage to pull it off. But gun parry is also effective, as you can see over here. Okay, go into that tunnel, and out of the tunnel there is actually a crystal lizard. Try to finish him before he drops down from this rock tablet, and then swerve to the corner. There is actually another another slope, and we are greeted by this aggressive crystal lizard. And there it goes down. Okay, this is a bridge that we want to get across. Over here, you can, if you were to take out your holoscope, you can actually see there is a spider in there. This is actually Patches. She is trying to ambush us, just like he did in previous entries. He's gonna kick us down off the cliff. Same old fucking jerk. Over here, I was trying to, you know, use the throwing knife to aim at him and get him off the cliff, but I didn't do it the right way there. Never mind. Even if you manage to get him off the cliff, as soon as you get to the end of that rainbow stone, you will still be kicked by him, so there's no use of that. Go over here through this tunnel. Let's just finish this giant off first, because later on he's gonna be a pain in the dick if we decided to explore the bottom poison swamp area. And before we leave, there is actually another ruin in here. Okay, we're gonna drop from this point, this cliff. Just be a bit more careful of that gap in between. There's an item in here, Madman's Knowledge. And in here, we are gonna be greeted by a new type of enemy, those squid-looking enemy. They are pretty lethal in terms of the poison that's spit out of their mouth. You can see that is a different kind of poison meters that shown up on the top of the screen, and there is no cure for that. Antidote won't help. Before we leave, across this hole, there is actually another rune in here. Just remember to pick that up. Okay, now we're gonna be exploring this poison swamp area. Just stick to your right first. We're gonna be going anti-clockwise in this whole area. There are gonna be a lot of, you see, this kind of crystal lizard in here, but most of them drop either twin bloodstone shard or just the very basic stone shard. So there is really no use wasting your time with them. And besides, there are also a lot of giants in here throwing rocks at you. So, with poison as well, so there is really no time wasting in here. But if you guys insist, you can come back later and try to get every single one of them. But I don't recommend you guys to do this, though. Okay, that the position where that giant that we just killed earlier is actually an area that will lead to an entire different place. But we'll come to that cave later. I think my gun parry also grew a bit rusty, as I haven't been playing this game for quite some time. Because it's not like that I'm recording this game all the time. Okay, although that your character seems to have trouble running in this poison swamp, but the animation of your rolling is still the same as you are in a plain area. Over here, get to this platform, there's another crystal lizard, as you can see there, but I didn't get to that. But I don't really care because they just drop garbage. Okay, just to show you guys where this leads to, this actually leads to that motherfuckers that we see earlier. You know, that tunnel leading to that three giants throwing rocks at us. Okay, now we're gonna get back to that cave leading us to a new place. That place will actually get us a new shortcut. You know, that leaf shortcut as we saw earlier. Just nearby our lamp. And in here we're gonna meet a new type of enemy. That is the most obnoxious enemy that I was talking about. This enemy actually has a very big head, and this head is filled with ice. Once you are stared by this ice, your frenziness meter is gonna get built up. As you can see right there. And she's gonna try to grab you. So just change it to your great sword form, so that every attack of yours can actually stagger her, so that she won't have the chance to really grab you. And over there you can see that motherfucker just fucking dropped from the cliff, and this was the crystal lizard that we are interested about. But over here I actually tried to reload the scene by quitting out the game, but she still doesn't drop me that bloodstone chunk. But never mind, we'll get back to him later. It seems that we must kill him ourselves in order to get that bloodstone chunk. We can't just reload the scene. There are a lot of stone tablet in here acting as a bridge for us to get across. Another one of those motherfuckers. Just kill them right away. Once we have this kind of fire beast cleaver, they are really a cakewalk. And this will bring us back to the top platform, which is nearby our lamp. And now we are gonna get pushed by patches. Just pretend that we don't know that patches is there. Do this, we have to backtrack to that bridge. You know, just right after that tunnel in this area. Okay, we have to pretend that we don't know he's there, ambushing us, and follow those rainbow stone, shining rainbow stones, classic trick put off by patches. Same old motherfuckers. Here we are in the lion's den, filled with squid and all those motherfuckers, big-eyed motherfuckers. And there are a lot of crystal lizards in this area. I think you can just practically ignore them. They all just drop garbage. There's really no use to try to kill every single one of them. You can see there are really a myriad of them hiding in here. You really can't get to every single one of them. And the best stuff that they can drop is only twin bloodstone shard. We are gonna have an overload of that in the later game. Right around the corner, this motherfucker, as you can see here, he just extended her arms trying to grab us. You need to be really careful with that grab attack. That's why we are using our great sword to stagger her at every hit. And this is the item that we are interested in. Then, after that, we can just hop back to our lamp and go back to the hunter stream and level up. That item that we just picked up is actually a mimic item. We can mimic ourselves into a messenger, you know, to fool any online players. So that is primarily a PvP item, so it's not really that relevant. And it also requires arcane to use.
Very well,
Yeah, just popping that into our vitality and get it to 35. After that, we're gonna be leveling up our skills. Just see if I've gotten better gems to work on. Yeah, I did. Okay. Okay, now we are gonna just take that lift shortcut that we opened earlier. Go back to that area that we saw that that aggressive crystal lizard and kill him. And also there are a part of area in there that we didn't manage to explore. And we are gonna do that right now. I have no idea what those enemies are called, so I will just call them motherfuckers in general. But they are pretty weak to fire, as you can see. If you were to use your holy blade, it takes almost 7 to 8 hits to finish them off. Okay, there's nothing in here, just ignore that. Okay, over here in the corner of one of the stone tablet, there is actually a crystal lizard, although it doesn't drop any goods. But yeah, it's still good to kill one as you see one. And there is a bold hunter musk just around the corner. Up this stone tablet. Be a bit more careful with the squid. We're gonna come back to that crystal lizard that we are interested in, which drops 2 bloodstone chunk. And over here there is actually an item that I missed out earlier, so let's just pick that up first. It's not really that important, but I try to not miss anything in this game. And we have to deal with that big-headed eye motherfucker again. I would say she is probably one of the most hated enemy in the whole of the Bloodborne, because she always appears in some of the most obnoxious terrain. Like, for example, in this kind of area, we have to juggle between poison and frenziness at the same time, so that makes it a very disgusting combination. There it is, the bloodstone chunk. And in here, there's actually a cave that we can just land ourselves right into the bullseye. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. Just jump in here, but remember to switch to great sword first. There it is. That's the only one last big-eyed motherfucker in this area. Over here, most of the item is actually on your right side, so just keep your eyes peeled. Let's just enter this tunnel first. What we're really interested in is another room in here, guarded by this 2 squids. Over here you will notice that I'm primarily using this L2 attack. The reason why I keep using L2 attack is because L2 attack has a higher reach and a higher damage as well. I believe I've said that before, but I can't stress this enough. It is especially useful when you are tackle with some unapproachable enemies. And this kind of attack is really gonna come into use in the boss fight that we are gonna tackle in a moment. This boss is not hard per se, but mechanical wise, is just really appalling and disgusting, because a lot of its weak point is actually hanging in the air, so sometimes you can't really reach him, so you can't deal damage to him. So that L2 attack, as you can see, is actually an upper swing, so it can reach higher, and then we can just reach for his weak point. His weak point, there are only two weak points to this boss. Either his heads or his hands, limbs, what should I say? This boss is amygdala. Yep, amygdala. I have no idea about the lore, so I'm not gonna delve into that. Okay, so that's basically it for this entire area, and after we are done with this, we are gonna be fighting amygdala.
Welcome. What? Very well. Farewell.
Okay, since we got ourselves an extra 2 bloodstone chunk, we can actually level up our weapon, and time to switch around our runes, because this amygdala actually deals arcane damage. So let's just equip that rune, which will increase all of our resistance, and also the one that will increase our physical damage reduction. This boss is just right across the bridge in that stone tablet area. The upcoming battle of the amygdala that in this video is actually a very cool and awkward execution of the whole fight. I considered to, re-record this whole clip for this boss battle, but upon a second consideration, maybe I will just stick to this one, because it also shows how disgusting this boss fight actually is. Since amygdala is actually a king type of enemy, he is weak to bolt attack, I suppose. And just remember to get yourself a beast blood pellet. See, his weak point is either his head or his limbs, but it's always hanging in the air, so it's very difficult to reach him. His damage is not really that high per se, as you can see. Even if we consume ourselves a beast blood pellet, it doesn't really deal that much of a damage. But one damage that you really have to watch out is that sometimes he's gonna spill out shit out of his mouth. You need to be careful with this shit, because once it drops on you, it will deal a continuous attack damage on you. How obnoxious it is, mechanical wise. And then he will enter his second phase. His second phase is actually that he will tear apart 2 of his limbs and use it as a weapon. And this last bit of the health bar, I remember it takes me quite some time to really finish him off. Yeah, that's why I said this is so fucking dumb. This boss is actually one of the most hated boss for me. Just mechanically, it's just not a well-designed boss, and this attack is a shit attack I'm talking about. Pretty dangerous. You can see how frustrated I am based on the swings I'm doing right there. Totally aimless. Just one attack will do. Why do you have to drag this for so fucking long, motherfucker? See, just this one fucking attack, and it can be dragged this long. That's fucking nuts. Yeah, one drawback of that L2 attack is also because of the frequency of the attack. You can't land too many attacks on him while you are doing the animation of that attack. So it's like a double-edged sword. Just be a bit more mindful of that. And that's it for this episode. For the next episode, we're gonna be exploring the beyond of that Forbidden Woods, which is called Bergenworth. And if you remember, Bergenworth is really a focus, where everything starts in this game. I mean, the story-wise.